following presentation is an Delmarva Studios production.
Welcome back, Truth Seekers. It's time for another edition of the Flat Earth Files. No interview today. It's a traditional podcast. Today we're going to talk about quarantined on Flat Earth. The firmament has never been breached. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. It's already Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day. We've got 3 more interviews coming in the next 6 days. Let's look at the schedule. Thursday night, March 16th, we have an interview with Big Country. Saturday night, we have an interview with the Mormon Rabbi. And then Monday night, we have an interview with Bernard. 3 listeners who want to share their journey to the truth and their, their views on the flat earth. I love this community that we've built. I'm still blown away by the number of downloads. Again, I just thought this would be a little venue where I could talk about flat earth without upsetting some other listeners, but it's turned out to be a blessing in disguise. And listen, please forgive me. I am so behind on emails. Again, I did not expect it to take off like this. We are going to cover some emails, and then we are going to get into Quarantined on Flat Earth and a very interesting article, 2 articles that I came upon. One, Flat Earth and Frequently Asked Questions, and then something that many people may have missed. Back in September, there was Chinese astronauts that took a photo of a very flat Earth. We'll share that with you, and of course, we'll have the links to these in the show description so you can look at all of the information we are giving you today. Let's get to some emails. And before I start, Ashton, Joanna, and Tracy, I will be responding to your emails because I have questions I wanted to ask you before I presented your emails to the listeners. So thank you, and especially to Ashton, who left quite a message that I need to listen to and give some thought to. Thank you all. I'm not going to mention the names, but let's start with some emails. This says, I always felt the earth was a plane. As a kid, the idea that all the water doesn't roll off the planet, which comes from, obviously, meaning flat, right? You can't stack anything on a ball. Water won't stay on a ball. Anyways, God made it his delight for us to live. The whole lie, right? The whole lie of heliocentrism, he's saying here, is to denounce God and salvation through his son, Jesus. If you have a website, shoot me a link. Just started episode 16. I don't have a website yet. I'm trying to decide whether to pay for a whole nother website or to put a link within my current website, which is my other podcast. That's something I'm thinking of. However, I did just put together a Rumble channel, and by the end of the week, I will have a video up in there. But I'm going to wait until I actually have a video posted before I post my Rumble channel. Obviously, it's the Flat Earth Files, but I'll advertise it and I'll link it once I get a video up there. No website yet. We're only about 100 days into this podcast, and I probably will end up getting a separate website. And obviously, I want to invite some folks on there. We'll have some great visualizations to give you along with the audio we provide for you. So thank you for that email and your continued support. And remember, Rumble channel is done. I just haven't uploaded any videos yet. We will certainly get to that. The next email, And again, there's a reason I'm addressing this. Hello, I just discovered your podcast. I'm only on the third one, but it's so good. I'm really enjoying it. Do you have a website? Again, no website yet. My other podcast is the Fact Hunter podcast, but I need to keep the entity separate. So I probably am. I'm getting a lot of these emails, as you can see. So I think I probably need to bite the bullet, build a website, and put a chat room in there so like-minded people can communicate. And maybe we'll get a Discord channel as well. So thank you for that. Much appreciated. The next email says, I could truly go on, and this was such a nice email. Thank you. I could truly go on and on about how both of your podcasts have set me free. I've always been a conspiracy theorist, aka a rebel, and have mostly attributed that to my defiant ways. However, after being exposed to the facts and flat earth, my defiance seems more to me like a well-oiled bullshit meter. I've known all along about the lies. The way you use your platform and how you present the information, I couldn't be more thankful. After coming across your Flat Earth podcast on Spotify, everything just made sense to me. I became a new true believer in God and not the religious type of belief we're often fed. I live in the space coast of Florida and constantly see those rockets arch towards that forbidden triangle, and now I just laugh. I even work for an aerospace company, shake my head. I laugh at a lot of things now knowing the truth, so I just wanted to express my thankfulness for you. I'm now looking into going into homesteading and searching for land to start this new journey. It is, I will tell you, it's, we've been busy. That's why I'm a little behind on the emails. These last few days, our seedlings are getting ready for to move out to the greenhouse. We're extending our garden, 20 feet wide by 112 feet long. We're going to have a huge garden this year. Put a lot of effort into bringing back our apple tree. We have a pear tree. We used to order our chickens from McMurray's. Right now, we invested in a nice incubator, and we're waiting. Hatch days should be in 11 or 12 days, so I'll let you know how that goes. These are the times where you just really need to, number one, know where your food is coming from, and number two, making sure you have a reliable resource there. Where if the grocery store runs out, you still have to have a backup plan. This is our backup plan. So God bless you and best of luck. If you have any questions in homesteading, hit me up, and my wife and I will do our best to give you the best information possible. She also says that she's also gone vegan thanks to her awakening. So again, she's thankful for the podcast, all caught up on Flat Earth podcasts, which I'm now listening to on Spreaker because of the censoring on Spotify. I did in my other podcast, we did a podcast on Ted Kaczynski, episode 150. Spotify took that down. So thank you so much for this very kind email. You will be getting a written email from me no later than Thursday. Thursday I'll be locked, and Friday I'll be locked in this office handling business. The next one. Hey, George, in light of you giving Tucker Carlson credit, I thought you might find this a mission thought promoting. I will get back to this one. This kind of went into the banks failing. More on that later. So here we go. Hey, George, I just wanted to let you know I'm going to give your podcast, The Fact Hunter, a shout out on my next show. If you remember, Joe joined us last week, March 8th on an interview. He said, I looked into what you said about the origins of COVID in Fort Detrick, and it kind of blew my mind, especially the vaping illness part, starting to all come together. And he said he liked our classic audio with Bill Cooper. So thank you very much, Joe. And we had a great time with you and hope to have you back again in the future. It was a great time. He joined us on March 8th. All right. Next email. Here we go. Loving your show. So much great information laid out so wonderfully. I share the show with anyone who was questioning where we live. And that's what I love to hear. My wife, she has David Weiss's app, the Flat Earth app, and she's at work and she shows people all the time. The listener says, I myself stumbled across it looking for new Flat Earth content to escape the fear reality we live in, isn't it? It's all fear, and they do everything to protect us, right? They sent our money to Ukraine to protect us. They enacted the Patriot Act to protect us. All in all they are doing is removing our liberties. She says, it's a subject that gives me hope. I've been awake for a long time, thanks to my dad and his conspiracy type comments as we were growing up. He once commented about his distrust with the flu shot, saying, quote, "The first people to receive these shots are healthcare and the military, and it's the easiest way to take over any country by poisoning our protectors and lifesavers." That hits home, doesn't it? I was so young when he said it. It didn't really hit like it does today, but it always stuck with me. Next was Tower 7. Obviously, 2 planes, 3 buildings fell. The Lehman Brothers building. And then, of course, the COVID scamdemic. Flat Earth came to me shortly after COVID locked us away. And when I met my boyfriend, he introduced me to the concept. I woke up quickly, almost as if I had already knew, but never gave it any real thought. Once I understood that space was fake, it all made sense to me. Now we watch Flat Earth content and talk about possibilities around what the moon is and what our true world is. My kids are now growing up, now with the ability to ask questions and to use their own critical thinking to determine which is true to them. Amen. These kind of emails blow me away, and it really, validates all the work that I've put into this stuff. It's really, when you can take this knowledge and share it and then pass it down to your children and have your children understand what critical thinking is, that's very rewarding to hear. Not blindly believe what is fed to them by these outside people of authority, right? Like teachers, or, a guy puts on a white lab coat and gets behind a camera on MSNBC and says, you better get your jab or you're going to die. A few episodes ago, you had a conversation with Megan. I was incredibly interested in her take on the larger world clock, so I reached out to her. This is amazing. This is what I'm talking about. Hopefully there is a new friendship and community starting. Thank you so much for speaking out and sharing your knowledge and spreading the truth. We all deserve to know where we are. And finally, cut the puppet strings to fall away from evil. Man, these emails are fantastic. And this community is a great community. It's a tight community. And, I'm just going to, I need to get this website and this video up by the end of the week, and I'll make sure it gets done, guys. This is great. I'm just going to say this is from Finland, okay? What's up, the Flat Earth Files, and greetings from Finland. Been listening to your podcast since I found it a couple of months ago. Been trying to find decent Flat Earth podcasts, and gotta say, yours is the best I've found. I've been a flat earther for 3 to 5 years now, and just like you said, once you take the red pill, there is no turning back. The first encounter with all this flat earth stuff for me was a YouTube video about this magical point on the North Pole where you can escape from the Matrix. And it's because of this magical force of this place where the Northern Light happens. It wasn't really a flat earth video, but I think it was from that video that I found the whole flat earth concept. So I think while watching that one, it recommended me. This must have been back when the algorithms actually worked, right? I'll watch, the Russian vids guy, and the next video will be PBS talking about how much they love Marxism. So again, while watching that one, it recommended one of the Flat Earth videos. And of course, once you see those first videos, and if it's a good one, man, you dive down the rabbit hole, right? We've all been there. says, anyway, since then I've really researched the flat earth. Searching and researching different kinds of conspiracies isn't anything new to him, right? Started doing that when I was a teenager. And I have to say, flat earth is by far the most important one. And it is interesting to see, right? Most people, just like our last email, you kind of, 9/11 is a big one. And then, COVID, a lot of people's eyes were awakened. And then in their diving into the rabbit holes, somehow, some way, you come across this flat earth and you realize, well, geez, if they can lie about murdering 3,000 people and coaxing people into taking this experimental jab, well, they could certainly lie about something like flat earth. And again, he says flat earth is by far the most important one, not only for doing more research. I mean, it is very important to know just how close you are to God and that you were really created. And I think that is a big one. God is right above us. He's not in some mysterious other dimension. He is literally, most people say he's sitting right above the North Pole. I mean, obviously God's everywhere, right? But all of this is real. And the flat earth is huge in giving people meaning in life, and it brings people closer to God. He says, thank you for all the work and time you put into making this #1 Flat Earth podcast. I live in a small town where everyone laughs at you when mentioning flat earth. Well, my friend, I think that's about everywhere. But we are gaining traction, and we are waking more and more people up. Goes on to say, so it's great to listen to folks that share that same kind of worldview. And last but not least, I drew a couple of new logos of your show and wanted to share them with you. Keep up the great work and let me know what you think of the drawings. They look fantastic. And man, I am super humbled. I'll have to get them in one of the videos I do. I'll put them in the intro there. It's the flat earth, and it's a magnifying glass with the flat earth underneath of it. Just a really tremendous job. I'm very humbled, and thank you for the kind email and sharing your awakening. And shout out to all the great people in Finland. And our last email, will not say his name. It says, I've spent the last 2 weeks in an identity crisis. I've always had somewhat of a conspiracy theorist mindset. I've never denied the existence of God, but I never really gave my life to him either. A few weeks ago, I did, and he has done nothing less than confirm flat earth to me through his word and prayer. I cannot express how grateful I am that he's put your podcast in front of me. I'm stuck in a situation where God has given me this beautiful vision of the world where we actually live in, but nobody that I love and care about will give it the time of day. And I know, my friend, that there's a lot of people out there listening right now that completely understand where you're coming from. Goes on to say it's extremely frustrating. Recently, I decided that I'm going to learn as much about it as I can, so when the day comes, God gives me the ability to show someone else, I'll be ready. I'm only on podcast 6 or so, but I wanted to thank you so much for putting this out there and all the hard work and time you put into it. I firmly believe God is using you to reach his people. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for all the emails. And again, by Friday or Saturday at the latest, because I will be in here because I have an interview that day. Certainly by Saturday, I'll have a website up. I'll have a video up. And I'll try to give everyone a place to chat, like-minded people, okay? And I'll do my best to do that here over the next, today's Tuesday as I record, so by Saturday, the next 4 days, we'll do that. My wife's had a little bit of time off, so spend it with her, and we've been working very hard around the homestead here to get things ready for the spring. But these emails are so nice, they're so kind. The Flat Earth community is just such a great family to be a part of. So thank you. Keep the emails coming. Again, it is the flatearthfiles@gmail.com. Again, it's the flatearthfiles@gmail.com. And there you go. So let's talk a bit. We just have a couple articles to share, and we'll call it a day. This will give me some time. Again, we'll work on the website, get that up and running, and the other things that I've promised. Let's start with this. Quarantined on Flat Earth. The firmament has never been breached. And this article is much older. This article's over 7 years old. And people say, oh, the Flat Earth is new. This Before It's News has some great writers and some great articles. This one's very short, but to the point. And it goes on to say, and again, all these articles are linked in the show description for you to enjoy at your leisure. The reason why our astronauts were not harmed by the Van Allen radiation belts is because they never crossed that threshold. Everything we're told about these radiation belts is a lie. And the truth is, Earth is enclosed and there is no such thing as outer space. So the question is, how deep are the lies? Way, way down the rabbit hole, right? You go online into the NASA website to see how close a particular asteroid will come to the Earth, and voila, there it is. Remember the one a couple weeks ago, the one with the green tail? It comes around every 50,000 years. They tell us the world is 4.5 billion years old. It's only 6,000 years old. There it is, asteroid with its path of orbit in detail. So it must be true, right? Can't imagine the laughter that comes from thinking how easily that we as humans can be deceived with simple programs such as these. And, if you really want to deep dive into how easy it is for the hidden hand, the controllers to deceive us, just go check out what happened with the worlds from 1938, 1939, or go deep dive into Edward Bernays and how he manipulated the minds of tens of millions of people. By the way, there's complete YouTube channels that are dedicated to monitoring the heavens for incoming meteors, right? And after discoveries were made in Antarctica by someone who we've talked about ad nauseum, Admiral Richard E. Byrd, Operation Deep Freeze, by the way, those 4 of them, 1 through 4, that was organized only to be met by an abrupt and swift end that caused both the U.S. and Russia in 1959 to immediately start firing nuclear weapons straight up into the sky and kept firing for the next 4 years, breaking that glass ceiling, right? This was a high kiloton to low megaton bombardment, and we couldn't get them up fast enough. Only a year into the atmospheric bombardment, 10 nations, including the United States, made Antarctica off limits to any colonization. And of course, as you know, a treaty was put in place, and to this day, it remains intact. Over 50 nations now have signed off on this treaty. Obviously, they found something in Antarctica that must be kept hidden from this world, right? Most people agree that it's the firmament, right? After all, they've gone to extremes to implement the Ball Earth system, which allows their evolution theory to be accepted to ultimately discredit our Creator. Operation Fishbowl, Dominic Sunset, they've gone to extremes to fabricate the lies and the deceptions surrounding all space expeditions, and they're proud of it. It's imperative that they keep this lie going, since in order for them to discredit the Creator, they had to implement the belief that we are a product of billions of years of evolution, and then they back it up with the global Earth model, which was implemented in all the classrooms of the world without any proof. Many people, including myself, if you believe in evolution, you believe in globe. And if you believe in globe, then you believe in evolution. Look at the Tower of Babel. The modern day CERN is your modern Tower of Babel. And this is just another attempt to breach the firmament and reach the heavens. And just as such, you can bet CERN will be destroyed. Man always thinks that he can overcome, but he won't. As above, so below, right? As we were deceived to turn against our Creator in heaven, we are deceived to turn against our Creator on earth. Since the dawn of time, humanity has given worship and sacrifice to the Nephilim gods and men of renowned bloodlines of the serpent. See Rothschilds and Rockefellers. They have enjoyed complete control of the earth until now. You know why? Because their veil is falling. Remember what Manly P. Hall once said. He said, and this guy was a former 33rd degree Freemason. He said, when the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. They shall then know truth, and more than that, they shall realize that from the beginning, truth has been in the world unrecognized, saved by a small but gradually increasing number appointed by the lords of the dawn as ministers to the needs of human creatures struggling to regain their consciousness of divinity. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, the great veil will fall from the eyes of men. And people are waking up. They sure are. And their veil has fallen, and they are scrambling like cockroaches in panic mode to implement all necessary laws they need to bring forth their NWO, right? If that means sinking banks to bring upon a digital dollar to control us, they will do that. If that means censoring everybody who speaks against or speaks for the truth and against their evil narrative, they will do that. These are the same people that, again, were responsible for 9/11, for Oklahoma City, for all these things. In the, going back to the Titanic, which was intentionally taken down because there was bankers on there who were against the Federal Reserve. They took them out. 1912. A year and a half later, the Federal Reserve was enacted, and that enabled them to finance world wars. And now look at this, almost, $33 trillion in debt. And they're doing their best to start a war. Just before I came on, there was all kinds of breaking news about how the Russians took down an American UAV in the Black Sea. Well, I wonder what we would do if Russians had a drone buzzing up and down the East Coast, right? It's just, they really want their third world war. They really do. But yeah, their veil has fallen, and people are waking up to the jig, and they're scrambling like cockroaches in panic mode to implement all the necessary laws that they need to bring their NWO forward and to continue to keep control of the earth. At least they think so. But time is almost up. We've totally surrendered out discernment to the deceivers of the heavens and earth. We will not continue to fall for the paradigm that they've created for us, right? The ball. It is time to take back our discernment and to take back our flat earth. There you go. Let's look at this great article by Flat Earth Science and the Bible. There's a great Q&A that I want to put in the show description for you guys. It's a handy thing when people ask you questions. And this is a frequently asked questions, about flat earth. The first one, of course, is if you mention it to anybody, they say, "Are you joking? Are you kidding me?" No, this is not a joke. Yes, we really believe that the earth is flat because there is undeniable evidence to show that we live on a flat plane, not a spinning ball. We spent countless hours researching, and we believe that we've been lied to about where we actually live. Everything we see and experience is because we live on a flat plane, not a spinning ball. Again, most of these people, like most of us, would never give it the time of day, but once you get into it, you can't unsee it. And listen, you have to research something before you reject something you don't understand, right? And that's something we all have to do a better job of, right? Number two, if the earth is flat, wouldn't you fall off the edge? Of course not. No one has ever fallen off an edge. The continents are in the center, surrounded by vast oceans. surrounding the whole flat Earth, 360 degrees like a clock, is the Antarctic ice wall, and it is several hundred feet high. And we don't know how far it goes, right, until where it meets the firmament. It holds in all the oceans. There are documented accounts of people traveling along the ice wall for thousands of miles without seeing any inlet. And of course, we know it's about 60,000 miles around. If you travel in any direction on your continent, you will come to the ocean, right? In any direction you travel on your continent, you will come to an ocean. Then you would have to get into a boat and travel south to the ice wall. Then you would have to trek for who knows how far along the ice wall to the edge. And again, no one really knows how far it is because no one's allowed to freely explore thanks to the Antarctic Treaty and the military protection of Antarctica. So what is it? Are they hiding? Well, trust us. We're the experts. We said so, right? Some guy in Houston with a NASA logo on their shirt said so, so we must believe them, right? Question 3, and this is one that I get a lot, and this is something that we'll have a video on the website for you to look at, or at least on Rumble. If the Earth was flat, then wouldn't the sun light up the whole Earth at once? Or the other one I get is, if the Earth is flat, you should be able to see the sun from anywhere on the flat Earth. And again, it's not, because the sun is local. If the sun was 93 million miles away, then it would light up everything, but it's not. The sun is local, and it goes around the clock, right? If you have a big desk and you have a flashlight and you just hold it, 5 or 6 inches above the desk, does it light up the whole desk or just the little part you're shining on? You understand? And again, the sun is much, much smaller than what they say it is, and much, much closer than we are told. The sun rotates around and above the flat Earth, creating day and night. And because of the vastness of Earth and vanishing points, you can't see the sun when it's on the other end of flat Earth, okay? You can clearly see how the sun's rotation around the flat Earth fits into real-life time zones and sunsets and sunrises. And I'll have that link in there for you as well, okay? Number 4, if the Earth is flat, why does the sun go down and appear to rise and set? Although the sun is at all times above and parallel to the Earth's surface, it appears to ascend the firmament from morning until noon, right? And then to descend and sink below the horizon at evening. This arises from a simple and everywhere visible law of perspective, right? A flock of birds, when passing over a flat or marshy country, always appears to descend as it recedes. And if the flock is extensive, well, the first bird appears lower or even nearer to the horizon than the last. The farthest light in a row of lamps appears the lowest, right? When you're looking down a long street. Although each one has the same altitude. Bearing this phenomena in mind, it will easily be seen how the sun, although always parallel to the surface of the Earth, must appear to ascend when approaching and descend after leaving the meridian or noonday position. And that, of course, is from Dr. Samuel Robotham from The Earth is Not a Globe, 2nd edition. The next one. Why can't you see the edge from a plane? Why can't we see Africa or England if it's flat? And this is, one of the more easy ones to break down. You can't see forever on a flat plane. Therefore, you can't see anything that is beyond the vanishing point on the horizon, okay? Our vision makes everything converge into one vanishing point. So eventually, the horizon converges and we only see a flat horizon that extends far beyond our sight. That's why boats seem to disappear on the ocean bottom first. What happens is they are blending in with the convergence line. But if you zoom with your P900 or P1000, they reappear. This couldn't happen if they had gone over the curb, right? If you're standing on one side of a hill and a guy walks over the other side of the hill, your camera's not going to bring him in because the hill's in the way. But you can bring someone in over the curvature, or not the curvature. You can bring something that appears to go over a curvature, like the water, right back in, as far as the horizon extends with our sight or with your zoom's light, right? The other thing, of course, is the atmosphere and the clouds. They keep us seeing from forever, too. The atmosphere plays a very big part into how far we can see, whether it be with our naked eye or with a camera. Number 6, what is underneath the flat Earth? Is it just a disk floating in space? The flat Earth is not moving, nor is it riding on a turtle's back. It is not a disk floating in space. It is a flat Earth set on a firm foundation, set on pillars, exactly as the Bible describes it. 1 Samuel 2:8 says, "The pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them." 2 Samuel 22:16, "And the channels of the sea are appeared, the foundations of the world were discovered, at the rebuking of the Lord, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils." 1 Chronicles 16:30 says, "Fear before him all the earth, the world also shall be stable, that it cannot be moved." Psalm 75:3 says, "The earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved. I bear up the pillars of it." Psalms 93:1, "The world is also established, that it cannot be moved." And then, of course, we know, was it Psalms 19:1 talks about the firmament. And the Bible also describes the fountains of the deep, and the foundations being set on the deep. It also says that God established the natural boundaries of the earth when he made its foundations. Density is responsible for the natural boundaries of our world. Could there be a very dense ocean under the flat earth that the foundations are set on? Very well could be, right? Number 7. This is one that gets asked a lot as well. Can you explain how a GPS or satellite TV works on a flat Earth? Satellites do not exist in the sense that they orbit a ball Earth. Have you ever wondered why there are never any damaged or fallen satellites? And why there are no satellites malfunctioning due to constant heating and cooling? It's weird that they don't melt in the thermosphere at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, would you not say? Did you know that there are thousands of miles of fiber optic cables under the seabed that supplies 90% of the Earth's communications? And GPS works off cell phone towers. It's called triangulation. Haven't you seen those super tall towers and wondered, what are they? Satellite TV is just enhanced radio using ground-based towers. It is all ground-based, just like the old school TV antenna we had growing up. Number 8, and this is one, why the lie? Why would they lie to us about the shape of the earth? Of course, the number one reason is a biblical and gospel-related reason. The ball earth is the foundation for evolution and the Big Bang Theory, which both put God completely out of the picture. This is done by the synagogue of Satan. If the world is run by the satanic elite, which it is, then their primary goal would be to discredit and hide God, making believe he doesn't exist. In order for evolution to work, it needs the Big Bang, and the Big Bang needs outer space and the vast nothingness and planets and galaxies and the giant sun hurtling through space. See, the globe Earth is the foundation for atheism, the Big Bang, evolution, the New World Order, the alien deception, many, many false religions, and of course, satanic control. So if Satan hides God through his deceptions, then he can convince people there is no God. He wants to be God himself. Without the globe earth lie, all of Satan's deceptions are blown out of the water. The next reasons are those of the elite. Their goals are power, money, and of course the New World Order, a one world government, which is spoken about in the Bible. This is much easier accomplished if people believe they are in a chaotic universe with no God and our world is in the hands of the government. The flat earth reveals the following amazing truths. Number one, we were created. What other explanation is there for a perfect flat earth inside a dome, a large terrarium? Then it was designed and created by something much bigger than ourselves. Then people would start questioning who this creator was and how important we really are. We are the center of God's creation. Number two, the flat earth puts everyone on a level plane. We are highly valuable, and we all live together in this dome earth. We are all important, created, and valuable. We all own this flat earth. Why are we allowing, and this is a big one, is these people are really trying their best for World War III, aren't they? And we're approaching here next week the 20-year anniversary of Iraq. Why are we allowing these rich elites to control us, to do as they please, killing us softly, and taking away our God-given freedoms? What about the Coriolis effect? Doesn't the Coriolis effect prove the earth is spinning? Again, that's a myth. It's never calculated for anything other than bullets. If the earth was really spinning, then everything that flies would have to take into effect, but they don't. Even long-range snipers don't use it. And then, of course, we've talked about the seasons. The next one, what if if the earth is flat, then why is the sun and moon round, and why are all the other planets round? The simple answer is because that's the way God made it. In Genesis 1:13 through 19, it describes God creating the earth and placing the sun and moon in the firmament, in our atmosphere, as lights for the day and lights for the night. They are round lights set over the flat earth. The planets are also not what we've been told. Planets are only wandering stars. What NASA shows you are just computer graphics, CGI, right? What about gravity? How do you explain things falling on a flat earth without gravity? No one says you don't fall. That doesn't mean that the reason why you fall is because of some mysterious force that has never been proven or explained by any scientist in 500 years. Again, density and buoyancy explain all the natural orders of things. You're denser than air, so you fall. Gravity is the theory of why things don't fall. It's a false theory with many inconsistencies. Things do not fall because of some magical force, but because of density. Your phone is denser than the air, therefore it falls when you drop. Everything works because of density. Why can clouds filled with thousands of gallons of water float if gravity pushes everything towards the earth? How can a helium balloon float above a massive ocean that sticks to a spinning ball? It's density and mass. It's that simple. You're denser than air, so you fall. There is no magical force needed. So there you go. And this article has tons of pictures and videos for you to explore as well. We'll have that in the show description. And again, lastly, back in September, tremendous. The Chinese astronauts, obviously the Chinese version of NASA, they forgot to put on their fisheye lens before they snapped a picture. And again, Lee Austin, he's written many great articles, talks about last Thursday in September. Chinese astronauts captured the above image, which you'll see in the show description. Apparently, the rocket engineers on the Shenzhou 14 mission forgot to attach a fisheye lens to the camera. So there you go, folks. You'll see the image. The straight edge of the Earth confirms there is no curvature above the Earth. Why would China's manned space agency release a photo of flat Earth? Perhaps we give the Luciferian elite who run this fallen world much more credit than they deserve. Also, keep in mind the Lord will always tip their hand. So make sure you check out those pictures. Again, truth be told, astronauts have never landed on the moon. The best and brightest can only ascend to a maximum low Earth orbit. High Earth orbit is unattainable because it is on the other side of the impenetrable sea firmament zone. We lived in an enclosed system, and until death, we are not going anywhere. Our childlike faith in astrophysics is breathtaking. Even the origin of the word satellite is steeped in the annals of a prolific science fiction writer who had his fictional word co-opted by the space program. Satellites only circumvent the first heaven of the third mentioned below, right? I think we've mentioned this. Numbers, numbers, numbers. The orbital speed necessary to maintain a stable, low flat Earth circuit is 4.8 miles per second. Relatively slow when compared to the speed of light, but 186,000 miles per second. 38,193 times faster than the International Space Station. So, there you go. And if you'd like to read further, it goes on and on. And I think you'll enjoy it. But we're going to put a wrap on that today. Make sure you check out the picture of the Chinese astronauts from last fall taking a photo of flat Earth. Very interesting. And we'll have all the other stories embedded in the show description for you to look at as well. Lots of videos, countless hours of research at your fingertips. So again, make sure you go to the show description for all of that. I might just do a quick episode later this week, not including these interviews we have coming up, just to give you an update. When the website and everything is done, I'll have the links in there so you can check it out. You can jump in and you can chat with other like-minded people, not just here in the United States, but around the world. And another big shout out to all the very kind emails. It means the world to me. I'm so thankful to know that, we are waking up to this evil that is being propagated on us. And, we need to take our God-given freedoms back and get these Luciferian people who are trying to make our world just as miserable as possible out of our lives. And that's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of teamwork and a lot of, petty things to put aside, our petty differences aside, and fight for the greater good. And I think we can do that. And God bless you all. Keep the emails coming. Again, it's the Flat Earth Files at gmail.com. Again, it's the Flat Earth Files at gmail.com. And I already have the website locked in. I just actually have to build it and put it out there, but it's going to be the flatearthfiles.com, I think. But I'll announce it when it's done. The Rumble channel's done. Just need to put some videos up in there. Again, thanks for your continued support. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Again, we have 3 or 4 more episodes coming in the next 6 days, including 3 great interviews. And then I'll give you an update on everything we're doing with the website and the Rumble channel. Everybody, God bless. Take care of yourself. Look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Remember to keep your head on a swivel. And until next time, my friends, we'll see you.
You're listening to the Fact Hunter Radio Network.
Just the facts, ma'am. T-Mobile has invested billions to light up America's largest 5G network, from big cities to small towns, including right here in yours. And great coverage is just the beginning. Right now, families and small businesses can save up to 20% versus AT&T and Verizon when they switch. Visit your local T-Mobile store today.
Plan savings with 2 to 3 lines of T-Mobile Essentials versus comparable available plans. Plan features and taxes and fees may vary.
Hey, hon, we really need new phones.
T-Mobile will cover the cost of 4 amazing new iPhone 15s, and each line is only $25 a month.
New iPhone 15s? Best new year ever.
Get 4 iPhone 15s on us with eligible trade-in when you switch to T-Mobile.
Minimum of 4 lines for $25 per line per month with autopay discount using debit or bank account. $5 more per line without autopay, plus taxes and fees. Phone fee at 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers. Contact us before canceling account to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. $35 per line connection charge applies. See T-Mobile.com.